And it's the
Read.
Colorado Buffaloes midweek live with Big Dog and Brian. We're right here coming to you live and in effect, courtesy of the Bleacher Report. Make sure you get on the Bleacher Report app and download this so you can watch it live and also join into the chat. Get your comments and questions in right now for myself and Brian Howell. You can find me at Big Dog Chico anywhere on social media. Brian, let them know how they can find you.
Yeah, buffzone.com and also on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Brian Howell 33.
Brian Howell 33. All right. So we got some news to cover. You just coming from the media
Yeah.
presser today. We had a couple of guys on there. We're going to get into that. Also, we got to get into some injuries that we've had the updates on. Keys to victory versus Baylor. And we're going to do a little recap. I guess we can start with the recap of CSU, Colorado State. Got us a nice win up there in Fort Collins. Looked like
Yeah.
Coach Prime wanted to put more points on the board, but we did come away with the victory. What was your takeaways from the game?
Yeah. Well, first off, that was kind of funny. Just he was asked about why they're throwing the ball at the end. And he goes, "Is there a protocol? I don't know about any protocols. If they're trying to
No,
score, I'm trying to score."
exactly.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand why they were doing it. I think there's a little bit of bad blood between CU and CSU in the last couple of years, and personally, I love it because for those of us that have been around here for a while, that rivalry has just been kind of blah for a long time. And to see Jay Norvell and Deion Sanders and Shore and Braden Fowler, Nicolosi, all those guys kind of stir the pot a little bit. That was
Yeah.
kind of fun, and so yeah, really, all in all, really good win for the Buffs. I mean, I thought it didn't need to be dominant, but I don't know how many people I talked to, Chico, before the game, like on the field, I'm walking around and up in the press box, that they all said the same exact thing. They're like, "Man, I'm curious how this is going to turn out," because they were just nervous a little bit about what was going to happen with the Buffs. Like, how are they going to respond to that loss in Nebraska? And we know from watching last year, they didn't respond well to adversity all last year, right? Even
Yeah.
they beat Arizona State after a couple losses in a row, but that Arizona State win was one that Coach Prime starts off saying we didn't play, or what do you say? We played like hot garbage, so they didn't even play that well in that win. So I thought it was huge for this team to come out and respond really well to that loss in Nebraska and have a very convincing win. They may not have looked dominating all night long, but it was a convincing win. They needed it.
Yeah, a little slow on the start for the offensive side, but the
Yeah.
defense once again playing lights out. No wide receivers have scored on them yet. We haven't played the great wide receiver quarterback combination, so to speak. A lot of people would, you know, kind of predict, but hey, we still at the end of the day haven't given up anything to the wide receivers, and we'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully, it can go the whole season if we continue to put pressure on the quarterback and play lights out coverage back there. Great job by defensive coordinator Rob Livingston once again. He's been highlighted throughout these two victories, these three ball games. So let's go to here. The CSU, or I'll say the players of the game from your end. We'll do two of them real quick, offense and defense. And I'm gonna go an unsung hero. I'm gonna say even though he only probably made a couple of plays on paper, but I think he made the impact just being there and doing his job. That's big Anquan Barnes bouncing
Mm-hmm.
back after that Nebraska game, having those two penalties. Now he comes in, makes some plays immediately, and just was a presence in that middle in the absence of Shadozi Nwankwo. That'll be my guy on the defensive side. And real quick on the offensive side, at the top of my head, of course, it's going to be Michael Welch, who is now leading the team in rushing after one game with 65 yards on 9 carries to be exact. So Michael Welch and Quinn Barnes, my guys.
Yeah, and I think that we didn't even talk about this before, but I think you and I are assuming that Travis Hunter was the player of the game, and we're going to go with somebody different because we could go with Travis Hunter every week, right?
Yeah, we got to take out Travis.
It's funny how
I'll say Travis is like the kid in kindergarten when you're playing kickball or something, and you say, "Okay, all right." For everybody else, if you kick it over the fence, it's a home run. For Travis, it was an out, dog, because like you got to do something else.
right. Well, and it's funny. Before I give my players of the game, Travis was named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week on a week that he caught 13 passes for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. How crazy is that? Like, that's dominating. And as a voter for that, he was not even a nominee for Offensive Player of the Week. They went with Shador on that. So it makes sense. But I think that he probably got that in part because of offense. But yeah, Travis is obviously the player of the game. So we're going to go beyond that.
Right.
Offense, I'm going to go with Jonte Wester. Maybe an obvious one too, but we've been kind of waiting for LeJohntay to break out a little bit, and he did have a touchdown late against Nebraska, but that was a really nice performance for him to kind of break out a little bit as a buff. He obviously had over 100 catches last year at FAU, but he's kind of been needing his kind of buff breakout, and he had last week, and he really set the tone early in the game, and that second touchdown, the one where he catches it like at the 19-yard line and just turns the corner and just outraces everybody the rest of the way.
That's right.
The other 19 yards. I mean, that was that's the explosion we've been waiting to see from him. So I'm gonna go with Jonte Wester on offense. Defensively, there's a lot of guys. I think there's a lot of them that played well. I might cheat a little bit here and go with a duo because I thought that Levante Bentley and Nakai Hill Green played. I thought they played as good of a game by a linebacker duo at CU as I've seen in a while, and those two boys, were. I meant to say guys. I don't know why I said boys, but those two guys, they didn't put up huge tackle numbers, but when they hit people, they hit them hard, and they made impactful plays. And obviously Levante Bentley's strip near the goal line and recovery was one of the plays of the game. So I'm going to go with those two on defense because I thought just as a duo, that was impressive.
Now, I called that game live to go back to Jonte Wester and for the duo. I called that game live right from here as I watched it, and I'll do the same thing this weekend instead of actually at the game this weekend, probably mostly because of the weather and stuff. So I'll call it here, and I'll look forward to come to the next games. But I was calling the game live, and LeJohntay Wester's touchdown where he turned the corner from the 15, 10, 5 all the way in. And then I was speaking and asking for the defense to go for strips in the ball game. And it was like Levante Bentley had the green dot connected to my microphone where he can hear me because I promise you it was like right at the same time he went and stripped the ball and took it away. That's what we need to see, that aggression on defense to know that they have the ball, but we could take it away.
Right.
We could have that IQ on defense. And Levante had just been a bright spot on this defense since last year, especially end of the year. And then coming into now, he's really coming to his own as being a leader on that defensive front for the Buffs. And he got a tag team partner now with Hill Green.
Yeah, and I love Trevor Woods. I think that Nakai has played better though, and I think that duo right now is just they are humming along. These last two games looked really good together.
Well, here's the thing that I like, and it's about using guys, to their strengths.
Yeah.
And what I saw was Trevor Woods on the field in dime situations, meaning that you got 5 DBs out there, 4 linemen. He's the lone linebacker in the middle of the field, and that we were very successful on those plays. You saw him stop a crossing route for a 4th down, and that's putting them in position. Now, I've said also that I would like to see those two play together, Bentley and Hill Green, because in run situations, they can play off of each other. Bring in Trevor in those passing downs. I sound like a broken record, but bring in Trevor on those passing downs, and that's now, he's involved in the game. He's too smart, too good to keep off the field, but now you have him in a situation where he can excel, and that's what we saw last game, and I hope to see it for the rest of the year also.